and right, the light here. What happened? Something disappeared. Oh, all right. I wanted to type a comment. Say hello. Welcome. Welcome. See if everything is coming out nicely. Hello. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Oh, yesterday I was able to edit comment here. Hello, Yamsa. How are you? Okay. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Welcome. We are about to start. We are just giving other guys time to join us. Waruna, how are you? I'm good. I'm doing well. How many minutes can we give them? Now it's 8:02. Let's give them until 5:05. Then we can start. Until 5:05, then we can start. I'm good, guys. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. Can you hear me nicely? Am I audible enough? Can you hear me? Can you confirm if you can hear me nicely? Please, can you confirm? Okay, Kopano, how are you? Kopano? I'm doing well. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So today we have got the Eastern Cape and the GP paper, both of them prelims for 2023. That's what we are going to focus on today. Then I'm also going to make sure that I give you as much information as possible in as far as the industrial core regions is concerned, and also in as far as the IDZ and as the SDI is concerned. I'll give you as much information as possible. We are just waiting. In a minute's time, 5:05 we start. We are not worried about the number, guys. Otherwise, we can wait for people until 8. We don't want to do that. We can work with whoever is there. That's what we are going to do. We are just going to work with whoever is there. Thank you so much for coming on time. Thank you so much. You can share the live. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. Nolwas, Nolwas, how are you? I see you, Nolwas. How are you? Enhle, how are you? I'm fine. I'm fine. I can't complain. Just flu that is trying to knock me down, but I'm doing well. Other than that, I'm doing well. Other than that, I'm doing well. All right. I think, guys, I think the numbers are fine. Your account is private. Can you please send me a text? Your account is private. Can you please send me a text? It's not private. It's not private. It's not private. Innocentia. It's not private. I don't know what is happening. It's not private. It's not private. Okay, guys, let's start, guys. I think time is moving. So what we are going to do today, guys, we are sorry about that. We are starting on 2.3, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5 for our Gauteng. That is our GP preliminary from 2023. Then we also have our Eastern Cape. Yesterday, remember, we did the November and the KwaZulu-Natal prelim. That's what we did. So today we are going to do the Gauteng province and the Eastern Cape. That's what we are going to focus on. So let's start now. So this is our question here for the Gauteng paper. This is our question for the Gauteng paper. I can show you. Let me see if I've got a copy here to show it so that at least. All right. Okay. So for the Gauteng paper, okay. So we are starting. Why am I scared now? No, you don't have to be scared. Kopana, you don't have to be scared. All right, let's start now. The following photo shows a power plant. The following photo shows a power plant. So let's talk about the photo. Yeah, guys. That's how we do, guys. We don't just start by answering the question. Let's talk about the photo. What can you see from the photo? What can you see from the photo that we have here? What can you see from the photo? I want you also, as you are looking for some information, as we are interpreting the photo, I want you to look at the source here, what is written here, the location of industry, location of industry. So what can we say just in general about this photo that is at our disposal? What can we say about the photo? In general, we are not answering the question. Let's just talk about the photo. Let's talk about the photo only. I want us to talk about the photo. Let me cover this. Let's talk about the photo. What can you say about the photo? In terms of type of industry, okay, you have seen here where it's written location of industry. What can we say about the photo? What can you see? Of course, Warona, heavy industry, I can take that. There is pollution, I can say that. There is a word that I have highlighted here, location of industry. Where is it located? What can you say in relation in the outskirts? Okay, located on the periphery. That's correct. So we have seen number one, that is a heavy industry. And heavy industry usually is located on the outskirts. Why? Because it produces more pollution. It needs more space. You understand? It needs more space because what it does is it expands horizontally. It's different from the central business district where there is expansion vertically because of the competition for land. So where it is located now, the land is very cheap. The land is very cheap. So we are saying number one, it is on the outskirts where land is cheap or affordable, where they can extend horizontally. Okay, so we have also deduced that because of the amount of pollution that we are seeing, something that is visual that you can see from the picture, we have said that it looks like a heavy industry because it is from the heavy industry where there is more pollution that is produced. So we have agreed from what we have actually identified, or flatland as well, flatland and open space, of course, that's correct. Okay. What else? Large space of land and open space. What else can you add? What else can you add? Heavy machinery. I can also add into that because obviously that smoke is coming from heavy machinery. In terms of relief, is plant topography. That's correct. So let's get to our question now. 2.3.1 now, it's saying, now that we understand what is in the picture, guys, this is the approach that you are supposed to use. Do not rush. Do not rush. Whatever photo, whatever infographic, whatever extract that you are given, analyze it. Try to get as much information as possible from that infographic, from the picture, from the BD case study, from the sketch. Try to get as much information as possible. So from what we have done, guys, by looking at this picture, we have come to the conclusion that it's a heavy industry. It is located on the outskirts, okay, of the urban area. Why? Because their land is cheap. There also it's more spacious because it can actually expand horizontally. These are some of the things that we have picked just by looking at the photo. Okay, it also deals with heavy machinery. It produces a lot of pollution in terms of air pollution and noise pollution because of the type of machinery that it handles. Okay, let's start now. Define the term heavy industry. Define the term heavy industry. So the two terms that should guide you here is define. Let me just highlight is we have got define, define, then we have got heavy industry. So this one is a concept. That's why it has got 2 marks, 1 by 2 marks. So what is a heavy industry? Define the term heavy industry. How can we define this term heavy industry? How can we define this term heavy industry? What is a heavy industry? Define the term heavy industry. That's why it has got 2 marks. It's a concept question. You have to get it right. What is a heavy industry? Define heavy industry. How best can we answer this question? So the 2 key terms that are there is define the term heavy industry. Located on the periphery of the CBD, of course, it produces large pollution. What else can you talk about? The amount of material that it handles. You can also add large scale secondary activity, economic activity that process bulk raw materials into heavy industry. Yamza, that's correct. It is an industry that produces large pollution. Of course, that's correct. But I want you to add also on top of it producing large pollution, talk about the type of material that it deals with, bulk raw materials. You understand? Okay, it produces large pollution. Industries are located far away from the urban areas because they produce large amounts of pollution. You have an idea, guys. What you are saying, all of you, is correct. But I want you to include in your definition at what scale it operates. Large amounts of material. Industry where large amounts of material are handled to produce large items, often generating much atmospheric and noise pollution. That's how you can define that. So you can define it in terms of what takes place within that industry. There's one handling of large amounts of material to produce large items. It generates a lot of atmospheric and noise pollution. That's how you can define your heavy industry. And from the analysis that we had when we're looking at the pictures, you can use some of that information to define. Okay, manufacturing that deals with big, expensive, and energy-intensive production, that is also correct. Okay, now that we have answered or we have defined what a heavy industry is, we started by interpreting the picture. So let's move on now to 2.3.2. Refer to the photo. Refer to the photo. Please take note, guys. This is very important. You are not supposed to generalize. You have been asked to refer to the photo. That's what your question is asking you. So if you are going to write an answer that is not referencing the photo, you are bound to get the wrong answer. The question is saying referring to the photo. And after referring to the photo, what is it that you're supposed to do? You are supposed to indicate. You indicate by writing down. That's how you indicate. By writing down. That's how you indicate. So you are referring to the photo. That should guide you on what is going to be your correct answer. Refer to the photo and indicate two visible factors that favor the location of heavy industry. So you need 2 factors that favor the location of industry. 2 visible factors that favors the location of industry. What do we have? We have got number one. Can you see? Someone was talking about the terrain, flatland. That's number one. We are talking about flatland. We are talking also about the large piece of land. Then you get your marks, guys. This is what is visible. Flatland, you can see this is gentle. Okay, the gradient there is gentle. There's also a large piece of land. So those are the two things that we can talk about. So we are talking about what? We are talking about number one, flat land. Then we also have a large piece of land. Large, sorry about the spelling there. Large piece of land. Large piece of land. So these are the two things that you can talk about. Flat land, these are things that are visible. Remember, we are talking about things that are visible. Large piece of land, okay. Large piece of land. These are things that are visible, okay. Large piece of land, let me, all right. Large piece of land, let me get back to the document. Just a minute. Large piece of land. All right, we are back to right. Okay, so we have got large piece of land and okay, large piece of land and flat land. Those are the two. Are we together? Visible. Okay, slime dam, of course we can talk about it, but we are talking about things that the most notable there is your flat land and large piece of land. That is the most notable, because we are saying that that favors the location of heavy industry. Remember the factors, the point, what should guide you guys is access water. Of course, we are looking at the factors that favor the location of heavy industry. What is it that is important? Okay, so we are talking about one, large piece of land, and also large flat land. Those are the two that we can take. Can you see a power supply there? Can you see a power supply there? We are talking about visible factors, things that we can see. Of course, we know there's supposed to be power supply. We know there's supposed to be water. These are some of the things that also favors the location of heavy industry. But what can you see? I don't know, guys, if you understand, before we move on, water to cool the machine. But what can you see? Can you see the water there? Yamza, can you see the water there? The question is saying visible factors. What is it that if anyone can look at this picture, can say, you can see this flat land, you can see this large piece of land, which is good for expansion. So let's talk about things that are visible, things that we are seeing. Are you following? Yeah, we can include that slime game. But I'm saying that the things that are visible, that you can see, that we won't even question, is your large piece of land and your flat land. Is straight and to the point. Are you following? Okay, you can include the slime dams, but so what about the well-developed infrastructure? Guys, we are talking about things that we can see. Can you see a well-developed infrastructure here? What we are seeing here is a flat land. What we are seeing here is a large piece of land. I know, guys, the well-developed infrastructure is a factor that favors. But here, guys, dam is visible. Sundowns, we can take it, that one. Okay, the slime dams. Let's talk about the flat land. Let's talk about the large piece of land. We should be guided by this, guys. Visible factor. Visible factor. Let's be guided by that visible factor. Something that you are seeing. Okay, thank you. Let's move on. Give me a thumbs up if you are fine so that we can move on to 2.3.3. Give me a thumbs up if you are fine now. But please be guided by the word visible factors. I understand, say, according to the photo, it's important to refer. Thank you so much. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. I'm not saying all the points that you are telling me are wrong, but I'm saying that your answer is supposed to be something that is coming from the photo. That's basically what I'm talking about. What you are seeing, what is visible. All right, let's move on to 2.3.3. Transport is one of the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. Explain why this is perceived as such. Okay, transport is one of the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. We are saying transport is one of the factors. So here we are looking at the role of transport. That's basically what we are looking at. The role of transport in industrial development. That's what we are looking at now. So what role does it play? Explain why this is perceived as such. Is one of the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. So basically the question is indirectly telling you, asking you about the role of transport. What role does it play? Transport is one of the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. Explain why it is perceived as such. So what role does it play? Okay, let's see. Someone is saying it helped make trade easy. That's correct. Used to transport the goods from the factory to other places. That is correct. That is correct. You are bringing about the role played by transport. That is correct. What else do we have? It helps trade ease. The road can transport raw materials to the source. Thank you, guys. So this question is indirectly asking you about the role of transport in industrial development. That's what it's asking you. Transport is one of the factors favoring industrial development. Explain why it is perceived. So, okay, that is correct. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think we have easy for exporting, easy for transporting raw materials. Okay, that's correct. We are talking important for efficient transport for raw materials to the industries. What you have written now, I'm reading. Important for the distribution of product to domestic and international market. That's what you are writing now. That's what I'm seeing. Efficient transport to and from industries. So these are some of the things that you've written. They are all correct. But the question in general is asking about the role of transport in industrial development. If you are fine, give me a thumbs up so that we can move to 2.3.4. If you are fine, give me a thumbs up so that we can move to 2.3.4. If you are fine, thumbs up, Alessa, thank you. Yeah, if I can see most of you give me a thumbs up, then I know we are fine. Identify the main environmental challenge associated. Identify the main environmental challenge associated with the heavy industry from the photo above. Guys, please, whatever answer you are going to give, make sure that it is evident on the photo, based on the photo. Thank you. That is air pollution. That is correct. That is air pollution. How are we seeing that? You can see with the small air pollution, air pollution, air pollution, air pollution there. Okay, that is air pollution. That is air pollution. Air pollution to be specific. That is air pollution. A. Thank you so much. Now, the official Palesa. Okay, thank you so much, Luane. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Now, all your answers are correct. Let's move on to B. Why is the challenge identified in 2.3.4? What is the identified challenge? That is air pollution. Are you following? Why is the identified challenge in 2.3.4 regarded as an environmental challenge? Why is it regarded as an environmental challenge? I think let's stick to air pollution. Let's stick to air pollution. That's what is evident. We can't hear the noise there. Let's see what is on the photo. We can see air pollution. We can see air pollution. Yams are there. We can see air pollution. I know there's noise pollution, but what can we see? We are seeing air pollution. That's what we are seeing. Okay, we know that there's also noise pollution, but what we are seeing there is air pollution. That is what is evident on the photo. Okay, so let's stick to air pollution. So the question is, why is the challenge identified in 2.3.4 seen as an environmental challenge? Why is air pollution regarded as an environmental challenge? Why is it regarded as a problem to the environment? Number one, air pollution. What does it do to the air quality, the air that we breathe? What does it do? It pollutes the atmosphere, which means it affects the the air quality. Okay, that's correct. The air. Okay, thank you so much, Yamza. That's correct. Okay, let's try to be specific because it has adverse impacts on the surrounding communities. How? Especially remember, we are saying environmental to the environmental challenge, the environmental challenge. Okay, so we are saying smoke can contribute to global warming or climate change, respiratory issues. Okay, it can contribute. Remember, the focus, guys, is on the environment. Let's try to stick to the environment, not to the people, but to the environment. Remember, we are sticking to the environment. Like, for example, I've said it pollutes the atmosphere, which means it reduces the quality of air. Guys, let's not include as a social challenge. This is an environmental challenge. The environmental challenge, we are not focusing on the people, we are focusing on the physical environment. Reduce air quality is correct. Okay, we are saying it can contribute to global warming or climate change. That is focusing on the environment. Okay, it can have a negative impact on the ecosystem or the natural vegetation. That is focus on the environment. Let's remove the part of the people. Let's focus on the environment, guys. Are we together, guys? Increases cause of greenhouse gases impacts, okay? Air quality gets affected and the smoke cause rain, and that's correct. The source, that's correct. What else do we have? Guys, we are focusing on the environment. You can see the question is saying, as an environmental challenge. Let's focus on that. As an environmental challenge. Environmental, okay, it can destroy, of course, at some point, the soil quality, of course. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? As long as you are focusing on the environment, guys, don't focus on the people. Acid rain, what does it do to natural vegetation? What does it do to the ecosystem? That's correct. It's focusing on the natural environment. That is an environmental challenge. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So we are saying now the focus of this question is, why is it regarded as an environmental challenge? What are the effects on the environment? Increases global warming, of course. Okay. So if we all understand this question, let's move on. Can we go to C? Can we move on to C? Give me a thumbs up if you want us to move on to C. But I want to emphasize, guys, this question, you cannot link it to how it affects the people in general. It's saying to the environment. Environment, guys, please take note. It's saying to the environment. It takes to the environment. So your reference should be to the environment. Like I've said, it reduces air quality, that is to the environment. Global warming or climate change, to the environment. It can actually impact negatively on the ecosystem and natural vegetation, to the environment. So your question should be centered on the environment. That's how it poses an environmental challenge. Do not talk about the people. Do not talk about the people. Talk about the effect on the environment. Thank you so much. Can we move on? All right, let's move on to C. Suggest strategies that industry can implement to reduce the effect of environmental challenge in 2.3.4. What can we do to reduce the environmental challenge that we have mentioned in 2.3.4? What can we do to reduce the environmental challenge that we have written there? The environmental challenge of air pollution. What can we do to reduce the environmental challenge mentioned in 2.3.4? Okay. Carbon tax, obviously. The more you pollute, the more we pay. We can also do that. Energy efficiency, that's correct. You plant tree, which is more like afforestation. Obviously, through the process of photosynthesis, of course, the carbon dioxide is used for photosynthesis, which means also it helps in abating global warming. What else? What else can we do? Having afforestation programs, that's correct. What else can we do? Introduce green belts, that's correct. What else can we do? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the environmental challenges that we have brought out here, this is what we are trying to counter through the strategies. Plant more trees to absorb in carbon dioxide. Must also move to the rural areas. But even if we move them to the rural areas, are they going to stop polluting? If we decentralize industry, because there is pollution that is coming from them, do you think moving them to the rural areas will be a solution? Because it's going to cause the same problem to the people in the rural area. You get what I'm trying to say? Choose cleaner and not toxic raw material, that's correct. Investing in monitoring air quality. We can also, the government can also introduce a policy whereby they exempt companies, tax for companies that do not produce a lot of pollution. If you do not produce, obviously they reduce their taxes as well. That's what they can also do. That's another strategy. Still, it will pollute. Because if you take them to the raw area, they will continue polluting. The idea is, we are saying, what strategies can you implement to reduce the effect? Because if we take them to raw areas, the pollution will always be there. So I don't think that one is correct. Okay. Yeah, I think we have exhausted this one. Anyone with a question on this one? Anyone with a question on this one? Or we are all fine? With this one, are we all fine? Banning of harmful chemicals. Okay, that's correct. Are we all fine so that we can move to 1.4? I'm explaining too fast. All right, cool, Charlie. I'll try to slow down a bit. Thank you so much. If you are not fine, tell me. Lebogang, you are saying 2.3.2. 2.3.2 is saying refer to the photo and indicate two visible factors. Visible, what you can see from the photo. We have said that what we can see from the photo, this is for Lebogang. I have asked if there is something that you want me to address. Lebogang has said 2.3.2. That's what I'm responding to, guys. I hope I'm not mixing or confusing anyone. So, Lebogang, what you can see, for the word visible here, is something that you can see. You are not listing all the factors that favors the location of heavy industry, but you are writing what you can see. Flat land, large piece of land. That is threatened to the point, Lebogang. I don't know if you understand. Can you confirm, Lebogang, if you understand? So that is your 2.3.2. What is visible is what you can see. What you can see. There we can see flat land. There we can see large piece of land. Thank you so much. Okay. There's someone who's saying, what is this? Thank you, Lebogang. Someone is talking about question C. Question C, who's asking about question C? Are we offline, guys? 2.3.3. Transport is one of the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. Explain what is perceived as such. 2.3, basically what is asking for is the role of transport. That's what it is asking for. The role of transport. That's what it is asking for. Okay. So what is the role of transport? 2.3. We are saying now efficient, okay, it proves accessibility and efficiency to transport to and from industries. That is the role that transport is playing in industrial development. 2.3.3, someone is asked for money. You can also talk about it's important for the distribution of products to domestic and international markets. You understand? So we are looking at the role of transport in industrial development. What role is it playing? Is transporting raw materials, okay, to where? To the industries. What is it doing? It's distributing products to domestic and international market. So that is the role that it is playing. That is the role that it is playing. Are we together? Are we together? I think we are fine on that one. Someone is asking about 2.3.4. You guys, you should join in time, so that we, all right, not a lot. Okay. 2.3.4, which one exactly? A, B, or C? 2.3.4. Dolly, you are saying 2.3.4. Which one exactly? A, B, or C? Can you be specific, guys? Okay, C. So let's start from A so that you can be able to understand C, because if I just start on C, then it's going to confuse you. So do you understand A? Let's start from there. Innocentia Dolly, do you understand A first? It's saying identify the main environmental challenge associated with the heavy industry from the photo above. What is the environmental challenge that we are seeing? There is air pollution. There is what? Air pollution. There is air pollution. Can you see that? Air pollution. So do you understand A? We want to move bit by bit. Okay. If you understand A, give me a thumbs up so that I can move to B. Give me a thumbs up so that I can move to B. Okay. Give me a thumbs up sharp. So B is now saying, why is the challenge identified in 2.3.4? What is the challenge? That challenge is air pollution. Okay. Why is it seen as an environmental challenge? What are its effects to the environment? Why are we seeing it as an environmental challenge? So we are saying now, it reduces the quality of air. It pollutes the atmosphere. That's what it does. So that's how it's coming in as an environmental challenge, number one. Number two, it contributes to global warming and climate change. That's how it is seen as an environmental challenge. We can also talk about the negative impact on the ecosystem and natural vegetation. Like, for instance, when we have got acid rain, that's how it is an environmental challenge, air pollution. You can also talking about the development of acid rain that will damage the environment. That's how it is seen as an environmental challenge. Remember, you are sticking to the environment. You are not talking about the diseases that people will have This is the environment that we are talking about. So your answer should be linked to the environment. Are you fine now? Are you fine, guys? Thank you. If you are fine, then we can proceed. Are you fine with B? Are you fine with B? Thumbs up. Thank you. Then C now is saying suggest strategies that industries can implement to reduce the effect of environmental challenge mentioned in 2.3.4. We have identified our environmental challenges, air pollution. We have said and noted the negative impacts of air pollution on the environment. So we are now saying now, what can we put as strategies to reduce the impact of environmental challenge mentioned in 2.3.4, which is air pollution? That's where now we are now talking about afforestation. Let's plant more trees. That's where now we are talking about, okay, plant more trees in the surrounding areas. Okay, what else? What else? What else did we talk about? Plant more trees in the surrounding areas. What else did we talk about? Carbon tax, we've talked about that one. You also talked about, what else can we talk about? The government can also come up with a policy to say, if you reduce your pollution, we can exempt you from paying tax, introducing the green belt. So these are some of the strategies that we can implement, okay, to reduce the effect of the environmental challenge. Okay, that's all. So are we fine now? Proper maintenance of boilers, that's all right, okay, that's also correct, but some of them might be fault, which can increase air pollution. That's correct. Proper maintenance of boilers, the machines that are used. We're saying I'm ignoring him, Sviso. What is Sviso saying now? Sviso, sorry, I didn't see your question. What is your question, Sviso? Sorry if you feel that I'm ignoring you. Sorry about that. Sviso, what's your question? Can you just type it again? Let me see your question. Sviso Mambo, sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I didn't see your question. Can you type it again? Let me see. Let me see your question, Sviso. Sviso, what's your question? I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. I don't understand letter B. Please explain. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. We want us to take 1 hour with one question. Will you be able to finish the exam? Which question? I don't understand. Letter B. All right. Sorry, I'm going to ask. Do it again. Letter B is saying, why is the challenge identified in 2.3.4, Gradia? Why is the challenge identified in 2.3.4 regarded as an environmental challenge? Why is air pollution regarded as an environmental challenge? What effects is it bringing on the environment that make it to be identified as an environmental challenge? We are saying now it reduces the quality of the air, that it pollutes the atmosphere. It results in climate change, global warming. So all those things is what we are talking about, Gradia. Do you understand now? That's how we are seeing air pollution as an environmental challenge. Okay, are we fine now? Can we proceed? Thank you, Palesa. Okay, let's move on to 2.4. 2.4, acid rain, of course, which also will affect the natural vegetation. Okay, thank you so much. All those. Gradia, thank you so much. Do you understand now, Gradia? Do you understand now? Give me a thumbs up so that we can continue. Guys, we are here to learn, guys. Let's not judge each other. We are here to learn. But also, let's pay attention so that we don't miss the information. Thank you so much. Gradia, I want your affirmation. Gradia, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'm moving on to the next one now. All right, sharp. 2.3.4. 2.3.4, what do we have? Let's analyze the infographic. Guys, when you have the infographic, guys, this should make your life easier. Then number one, look at this, guys. Platinum mining. What should come to your mind? In which economic sector does it fall? Platinum mining, in which economic sector does it fall? Let's start with that. Platinum mining, what is the economic sector? Let's start with that. Primary, Joyce, thank you. Primary. So I'm teaching you to analyze the infographic before you attempt to answer any question. Do not rush. So the first thing, that's what you should pick. Okay, primary mining. It falls under economic sector. That is primary. where there is extraction of raw materials from what? From the earth's surface. That is primary. That's one thing. Which mineral are we focusing on this year? Platinum mining. Okay, let's check now. The next thing is the areas of platinum mining. You should know by now the provinces where platinum is mined. You should know. Can we talk about those provinces now where there is mining of platinum? Can we talk about those provinces now? Now that we know platinum falls under primary, of course, Northwest Limpopo, of course, Northwest Limpopo. Which other province? You can add Mpumalanga there, Gauteng as well. So now that you know the provinces where platinum is mined, Northwest is known as the platinum province. So we are saying we have got Limpopo, we have got Northwest, we have got Mpumalanga, we also have Gauteng. Free State, you are mixing maize and mine. You are mixing maize and mine, please. Remove Free State there. We have got Limpopo, Northwest, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga. Okay, are we together, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you understand this. The provinces, give me a thumbs up. Let's remove Free State there. Limpopo, Northwest, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga. These are the main. Okay, thank you so much. Then, after that, if we are aware of these provinces where platinum is mined, okay, now what do we have? Of course, we can have also, we also have some towns here. Of course, we're not going to talk much about this. Let's go now to this. What we have here is saying platinum mining in South Africa. I'm going to read now. In South Africa, is the infographic valid? Gauteng doesn't have platinum mines. Reho, I want you to go back to your notes. Southwestern part of Gauteng, it also have mines. Southwestern part of Gauteng also, it also have platinum mines. So the province that we have is Limpopo, Northwest, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga. It's very valid. It's very valid. I want you to refer to your notes after this. You can go to your notes. You can also ask your teacher as well. You'll affirm that. Okay, thank you. Let me read now. In South Africa, the discovery of first platinum nuggets dates back to 1924. The geologist Hans Meren's work resulted in the discovery of two deposits, which became known as the Bushveld Igneous Complex. Since World War II, platinum mine production has grown continuously in response to new applications being developed for the metal. A significant new use of platinum was in the petroleum industry, where platinum catalysts were introduced to increase the octane rating of petroleum and manufacture important feedstocks for the growing plastic industry. This was followed in the 1960s by the growing demand for platinum jewelry, given its purity, color, prestige, and value. So let's analyze this. Number one is giving you a historical background of the discovery. Okay, here. Historical background of the discovery. That's what you have been given first. Then from there, what did they talk about? They have talked about the area where we have got the deposits of platinum. That is the Bushveld Igneous Complex. That's what they have talked about here. The Bushveld Igneous Complex. That's where we have got a deposit of mining platinum deposits. Okay. Then after that, what have they talked about? Mining production has grown. They are now commenting on the trend that is taking place in as far as mining is concerned of platinum. Platinum mine production has gone continuously in response to the new applications being developed in them for the metal. The more uses that it has. Okay. Then from there, they are now highlighting the uses of platinum up until the end. They are highlighting the use of platinum. So what do you expect after analyzing it like this? Number one, you are likely to come across the question that asks about the trends. By looking at this graph as well, is showing you production and the year. What has been taking place from 2006, you see how much was produced. But if you can compare up until you go to 2020 year, you can see that there's been a downward trend. So they can ask a question that has to do with the reason behind the downward trend in as far as the production of platinum is concerned. They can ask about also the uses, some of the byproducts from platinum. They can also ask about that. This is what we are seeing here. I also want you to check here, guys, where it's written adapted from the source. Okay, you can see here it's written supply in decline as demand gains significant traction. So this should also help you when you are analyzing the trend. So every information that is provided in your infographic is very important. Do not overlook it. Every information that is provided is very important. Do not overlook it. All right, let's go to the question now. The first question reads, okay, you want me to zoom? The first question reads, okay, is it clear now? Is it clear enough? The first question reads, identify the 3 provinces from the infographic where platinum is mined. 3 provinces from the infographic where platinum is mined. Identify the 3 provinces from the infographic where platinum is mined. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm seeing people are writing there. 3 provinces from where platinum is mined. The 3 provinces. Thank you so much, guys. I can see you are writing the correct answers. Thank you. Give me a thumbs up. Can I go to the next one? Is there anyone confused with this? All right. Let's move on to the next one. It reads, provide number 2. Let's move on to number 2. The next one. Provide evidence from the infographic for the location of platinum mines in 2.4.1. What evidence is there from the infographic for the location? What evidence is there for the location of platinum mines in the provinces is identified in 2.4.1? What evidence is there for the location? Is from the infographic. What evidence is there? What evidence is there? What evidence is there? What evidence? There's something. The belt where we have got the platinum. Yeah, bush belt complex. That's correct. Platinum is part of the bush belt igneous complex. That is the correct answer. What we have here, can you see where my cursor is moving? Is part of the bush belt igneous complex. That is part. That is the correct answer there. That is the correct answer. Platinum is part of the Bushveld igneous complex. That is the correct answer there for 2.4.2. Are we all fine? Are we all fine, guys? Platinum is part of the Bushveld igneous complex. If you are fine, give me a thumbs up for 2.4.2. 2.4.2, are we fine? Give me a thumbs up. If you are fine with 2.4.2, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Let's move on. Identify 2 uses of platinum from the infographic. Let's identify 2 uses of platinum from the infographic. The Bushveld igneous complex is a platinum belt. This is a platinum belt, okay? Okay. So, someone is saying, what is a Bushveld igneous complex? This is a platinum belt. Okay, that is a Bushveld igneous complex. The platinum belt where platinum is found. That's where platinum is mined along that belt. Okay, that is your Bushveld igneous complex. Okay, so we are now doing identify 2 uses of platinum from the infographic. Jewelry, guys, we are getting here. Can you see where my cursor is moving? Jewelry, of course, feedstock for the growing plastic industry. These are some of the things that you can actually pick. The petroleum industry as well. What else? Manufacturing of primary feedstock for growing plastic industry. Growing demand for platinum jewelry. Okay. If we are fine, let's move on. If you are fine with 2.4.3, give me a thumbs up. 2.4.3, if you are fine, give me a thumbs up. Spekela, don't worry, I'll share the paper. I'll share the paper. You can download it on Stanmore. You can download on Stanmore on the internet. You can download it. Okay, let's move on to 2.4.4. In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines. In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, suggest possible reasons for the decline. Suggest possible reasons for the decline in the production of platinum is shown in the infographic. What could be the reasons for the decline? So guys, pay attention. When we talk about a paragraph question, guys, a paragraph question, make sure you explain your points in detail. Esbekela, it's 2023. This is for Gauteng province. This is for Gauteng province. I will share. Please just send me a private message after this live. Then I can give you my WhatsApp contact. Then I can give you some of the papers. Spekela, please don't forget. After this, please, let's talk. Let's communicate. Okay, let's do 2.4.4. So I am saying, guys, pay attention. In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, suggest possible reasons for a decline or a decrease in the production of platinum is shown in the infographic. Remember, when we're looking at the trends here, the changes that are taking place from 2006 here up to 2010, we have commented that there is a decline in terms of production. That's what we are saying. There is a decline in terms of production. So we are saying, what are the reasons, the possible reasons behind the decline in the mining of platinum, okay, in the production of platinum? So what could be the reason? So when you're answering a paragraph question, I want to get somewhere to write, okay, number one, make sure that your points are fully explained, guys. That's what we mean when we say a point and a qualifier. Do not leave your points hanging. Give as much information as possible. Give as much information as possible. Bobby, okay, thank you. I'll try to slow down. So we are saying a paragraph question. You are supposed to write way fully explained points in form of a paragraph. What the question says, a paragraph question. So do not answer in point form. Write a paragraph. I'll give you the paper, guys. You write a paragraph. So because it's a paragraph question, so your points have to be well explained. So what can we include here, guys? Let's answer the question now. What could be the reasons? We are suggesting possible reasons for the decline in the production of platinum, as shown in the infographic. What could be the reasons? Okay, let's say, okay, when people are sick, obviously absenteeism, it affects production. Let's put it that way. When people are sick, of course, absenteeism, obviously, is going to affect production in a way. It could be a reason, okay? Fluctuation of foreign exchange, of course, it can also be labor disputes, of course, it can also be strikes, it can also be labor strikes. Of course, when the people are striking, production stops. Of course, what else? High labor cost, at some point, they have to retrench. Of course, they are not making a profit. What else? What else? What else? Okay, underground flooding, of course, they have to stop for a while. That's correct. Labor unrest. Okay, thank you so much. So what you can include there, guys, just to conclude on that regard, service problems, of course, we have got a lot of the union versus the trade unions versus the mining companies fighting over the wage issues and salary issues. Not enough international investors, that's correct. What is causing that less platinum production? That's what we want, Yamza. That's what we want. We want the reason behind that less platinum production. High tax on profit, of course, that can be another reason. If the mining companies are taxed too much, that can also be a problem. Load shedding as well, it affects production. Guys, union dispute, of course. Oh, load shedding, that's correct. It also affects production. Production stops. High taxes it also affects. So, guys, in general, we have managed to answer this question perfectly. I am impressed. You have managed to answer it perfectly. But what I am simply saying, guys, is give as much information as possible. Make sure you listen. I will explain. Spekela, HIV and AIDS causing absenteeism. That's correct. Obviously, when people are absent, which means production stops. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. You are cooking. I'm telling you. You are cooking. What about shaft mining, Reho? What about shaft mining? You have to be specific. What are you saying? Can you link shaft mining to the question? Can you link? We are looking at the possible reasons behind the decline in production. That's what we are where we are looking at, guys. So please always read the question, okay? Please make sure. Okay, I'll share the question paper. The question paper is for the marking guideline as well. So when I share the question paper, you also have access to the marking guideline. Okay. Increased cost of production. Thank you. So can we move on to 2.5? Give me a thumbs up. If you want us to move to 2.5, give me a thumbs up. Okay, you are now talking about thermal gradient, high temperature and shift mine, thermal gradient. Okay, can we move on to, okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to 2.5. All right. The first thing, guys, here, of course, I tried to, okay, read the following article on the Quagga IDZ. Let's talk about industrial development zone, guys. Let's talk about the industrial development zone first. Before we start anything, what can you say? What do you know about IDZ? What is an IDZ? What are the characteristics of the IDZ? What is the objective of the industrial development zone? Let's talk about that in general. Before we read this, let's talk about the industrial development zone. What is it? What is an IDZ? That's what we want to talk about now. What is an IDZ? Let's talk. What is an IDZ? We know that our IDZ is Quagga that we are focusing on for this year, which is in what? In Eastern Cape. But what is it? A development zone that promotes economic growth, job opportunities. There's something that is missing. Yams are there. There's something that is missing. Identify special for export-driven industries. Okay, Sasa. That one, I take it as it is. Okay, build to encourage foreign investments. Of course, export-driven. Guys, when you are talking about your IDZ, you don't have to miss that part which says export-driven industries. There is beneficiation that is taking place there. Encourage investment, promote industrial development. Okay, if you do not include the part of export-driven, guys, you have missed something. Okay, so we are saying now these are special zones for export-driven industries. So number one, when you're looking at industrial development zone, can I just sum it up? We are saying now these are designated areas that are set aside to attract investment, to promote industrial development, to create employment and increase exports. So those are the four things that the IDZ were designated for. That is to attract investments, to promote industrial development, to create job opportunities and increase exports. I also sum them up as export processing zones. Remember, when we look at trade in general, you'll find that most of the developing or poor countries, they export a lot, but they do not have a favorable balance of trade. Why? Because they are trading more with the raw materials, which do not fetch a higher price in the global market. That's why, despite them exporting more, they have unfavorable or a negative balance of trade, which means they are not gaining more from exports as compared to what they are spending on what? On imports. That's basically what we are saying. So we are saying the IDZ attract investments, set aside to attract investment, to promote industrial development, to create employment, and increase exports. That's what we are talking about. So we are saying IDZ, they are special zones for export-driven industries, but their purpose. Okay, let me just give you a simple one. Bobby, let me give you a simple one. It's special zones for export-driven industries. Let me give you a simple one. Special zones for export-driven industries. Special zones for export-driven industries. Special zones for export-driven industries. Let me just try to simplify it that way. Is it clear now? Special zone for export-driven industries. But we are saying now they are there to attract investments. Are you following? To promote industrial development, to create employment, and increase exports. But the simplest you can define it is these are special zones for export-driven industries. If you can put it that way, it's straight and to the point. I don't think you'll forget that. Special zones for export-driven industries. Okay. Kutwano, am I fast? Am I fast? I'm trying to be slow, guys. I'm trying to be slow. Are we fine with the definition and also some of the characteristics of the IDZ? If you are fine, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you give me a thumbs up? These four, okay? Attract investments, promote industrial development, create employment, and increase exports. Okay, how it get? If we are fine, okay. Okay, the definition, guys, I have said the simple definition is special zones for export-driven industries. Special zones for export-driven industries. That is the simplest. Special zones for export-driven industries. And how do they come up with these zones? We are saying now they attract investments. They promote industrial development. They create employment and increase exports. But in general, these are special zones for export-driven industries. Are we fine, guys? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. We want to read now. We want to read up. We want to read now. One delay. We are saying now, special zone for export-driven industry. The characteristics we are saying, they attract investments. They promote industrial development. They create employment opportunities. Okay, create jobs and also to increase exports. That's it. Okay, let's read now. The Kwega IDZ positively contributes to the Eastern Cape economy. All right. Already from what I'm reading here, this is the contribution of the IDZ to the Eastern Cape economy, to the provincial economy. And that's what we have picked already. Contributes to the Eastern Cape economy. Okay. Then spell signs of continued growth and improvement. The CIDZ, of course, Kwega Industrial Development Zone. Performance during the 2017-18 financial year resulted in the contribution of approximately 3.9. This is the contribution to the Eastern Cape GDP from the IDZ. That is 3.9 billion. Okay, that is the contribution. That is the contribution. Then also, latest results show contribution to economic income, 1.6 billion in national. Okay. This one, of course, let me highlight. All right, everything. Let me just highlight everything here. Of course, it's not coming out. All right, sharp. Then, according to the independent mapping report, which examined the impact of KEGA IDZ on local markets, production chains, exports, employment, and wages, most of the 45 operational investors in the IDZ and Nelson Mandela Bay Logistics Park created this another benefit, employment creation, creating employment. 69% of the investors reported that their workforce increased over the last 5 years. 86% of investors reviewed plans to expand business in the near future, while some of them are either in their second or third expansion. Okay, so that's another thing that we have to acknowledge as well. All right, another thing that we have to acknowledge. So from what I was reading, guys, what did I pick? Number one, the contribution, which shows the importance of the IDZ, that is Kwega, to the economy of Eastern Cape as a province. It has contributed positively. That is number one, where it's written the Kwega IDZ positively contributes to the Eastern Cape. So the acknowledgement that it is a positive contribution to the GDP. GDP is synonymous to economic growth of the Eastern Cape province. That's number one. Number two, it has also contributed in terms of revenue. You can see where we've got 3.9 billion in the Eastern Cape GDP. That's the contribution that it has made. These are things that we are picking from the infographic, from this article. Then what else do we have? We also have here, according to the independent market, we examined the impact on the local markets, production chain. Jobs has been created. 100 full-time jobs on average. Jobs have been created. So that's another contribution that the IDZ is also making. What else has happened? Remember, we have said that these areas are designated. What happened? They attract investment. What evidence is there to show that investments are attracted to come and invest in this area? You can see here 86% of investors revealed plans to expand their business in the near future, which means the environment that exists within this industrial development zone is conducive for investment. It favors investments. That's basically what we are talking about, okay? Well, some of them are either on their second or third expansion. So what is there already? Remember, we have said that these are designated areas. What is happening with them? they attract investments. This is what you are seeing, because people are willing to invest more. They've got plans. They are projecting plans to expand. Why? Because of the environment that is conducive for investment. Thank you. Then I don't know, from what I was reading and also analyzing, do you understand what this article is all about in general before we start with the question? Do you understand what this is all about before we start with the question? Do we understand what this is all about? Thank you. Can we start with 2.5.1? Okay, let's start with 2.5.1. Define the term industrial development zone. Let's define now. We have already defined it. Let's define it now. They are state aims to promote export-oriented industries. That's correct, Katiso. What other definition can you give us? Industrial development zone. Remember, when we're analyzing the article, we also defined it. I did a special zone for export-driven industries. That's correct. Yes, also. Sweet pie, that's correct. Anything that you need to add? Special zone for export-driven. I know some of you, you're expecting this long definition. Industrial development zone, purpose-built industrial estates linked to an international airport or airport which have been specially designed for new investment, export-driven industries and related services. But the easiest way is special zone made for exporting. It's straight and to the point. You won't forget that one. You won't forget that. Special zones for export-driven industry is straight and to the point. Of course, obviously, you expect there to be infrastructure that makes those areas to be attractive for investments, which is part of your international ports and airports. Of course, they have got all that. So they're special goals for export-driven industries. Okay. So in these areas, there's value addition that is taking place. There's beneficiation. Are we following, guys? Which means there's processing, there's manufacturing. We are now going to export value-added goods, which fetches higher price in the global market. Okay, development zone, which not in the past. Okay, thank you. I think we are done with that one. In which province is the Kwega IDZ located? In which province? 2.5.2. In which province is it located? Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape. Port Elizabeth is not a province, Sasa. Port Elizabeth is not a province. Guys, let's not mix things. Let's not mix things, guys. Eastern Cape, Eastern Cape, thank you so much. Let's just do what we are doing now. You can ask the questions later. I don't mind. I will tell you. I've said that this simple definition is special zones for export-driven industries. That is the simple definition. Of course, we expect there to be world standard infrastructure, like your airports, like your ports, of course. But the idea is these zones are for special zones for export-driven industries. That is the idea. Okay. Okay, thank you. This is how you lose marks. It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay, thank you. So 2.5.2. Can we move on to 2.5.3? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up for change so that we can move on to 2.5.3. 2.5.3. Can we move? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. 2.5.3. Thank you. Sharp. What is meant by balance of payment? That's where we are now. Okay. What is meant by balance of payment? What is meant by balance of payment? What is meant by balance of payment? I want to type this one for you guys. Countries. Okay. Financial statements showing its transactions, showing its transactions with the rest of the world. All right. I'm just okay. Country's financial statement showing its transactions with the rest of the world. You can also define showing the values of the country's transaction with the rest of the world. Of course, that's correct. That's correct. Okay, that's correct. We are seeing the transaction that is taking place in as far as the trade is concerned. That's basically what we are looking at. So that is your balance of payment. The country's financial statements showing the transactions with the rest of the world. That's what a balance of payment is. Okay, that is the balance of payment. Okay, who can tell me what is the balance of trade? Balance of trade. Balance of trade. We have talked about the balance of payment. Who knows what a balance of trade? So a balance of payment, what it shows is just the what? The transaction. That's what it shows. It shows all the financial transactions in as far as trade is concerned. So balance of payment, what it shows is the financial transactions. That's what it shows. How about balance of trade? How about balance of trade? Let's just explore and add balance of trade there. It's not the same. It's not the same. We are looking at the value, the difference between the value of your exports and imports. Okay. So we are looking at the difference between your value of imports and exports. So balance of trade now, when your exports are greater than the imports, we call it a favorable balance of trade, or we call it a positive balance of trade. So when you export, you generate revenue. When you export, you generate revenue. And when you import, you are spending. That is an expenditure. So under normal circumstances, we expect you to export more than you are importing. Because with exports, you are generating revenue, you are generating income. So hence, your exports are supposed to be greater than your imports. That's what gives us a favorable balance of trade, or what we call a positive balance of trade. So if it happens the other way, where your import value now is higher than the exports, means you are spending more in imports. Because when you are exporting, you are selling to. When you are importing, you are buying from. So imports is associated with spending, that is expenditure. So you should gain more through export than you are spending through imports. That's basically what we're talking about. That's your balance of trade. It's supposed to be favorable or positive where your exports are greater than the imports. But if you have a situation now where your imports are greater than exports, it's unfavorable or negative. Thank you. Let's move on to B. Let's move on to B. Explain how the Quega contributed 1.38 billion to the balance of payment. Explain how it contributed. What does it focus on? Remember, we said it's export driven. So obviously, what did it do? It focused on export and import of goods through international port and airport. That's what it does, because it's export driven. So that's how it has contributed to the balance of payment. It focused on export and import of goods through international port or airport. So that's how it has contributed to this 1.38 billion. Explain how the Quaker IDs had contributed. That's how it has contributed. Remember, it's export driven. So the transaction that has taken place through exports is what has contributed to this balance of payment. It focuses on export and import of goods through international airport, international port or airport. So that's how it is contributed to this. That's how you can explain these points. Are you fine? Are we together? 2.5.3, give me a thumbs up if it's fine so that we can move. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, through exportation. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Your teacher is very fast. I'll try to slow down, guys. I'll try to slow down. Apologies for that. Apologies. What do you want me to repeat? Can you explain again? We are saying now, since it is export driven, we are saying now it focuses on export and import of goods through international port or airport. That's how it has contributed to the 1.38 billion on to the balance of payment. That's how it has contributed, because it focuses on export. That's basically what we are talking about. That's how it has helped in generating this income that you are seeing there, which is 1.38 billion to the balance of payment. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you understand, so that we can move on to 2.5.4. Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, sharp. Let's do 2.5.4. Evaluate the economic impact of IDZ to the local economy. Evaluate the economic impact. That is 2.5.4. What is the economic impact? Remember, guys, I want to take you back, guys. I want you to take you back. Remember, when we are trying to sum up IDZ, we said attracting investments, promote industrial development, create employment, and increase exports. I don't know if it's ringing some bells in your mind now. So we are saying evaluate the economic impact of IDZ on the local market. The local, that is the domestic market. Job creation, that's correct. Okay. Job creation for the local people. It creates job opportunities for the local people. Development of infrastructure. Okay. What else contributes to the GDP? Yeah, you see, guys, you are cooking. You are cooking. You are cooking. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So that's how it contributes. Okay. It creates economic development and growth opportunities for the people of Eastern Cape. Okay, that is local market. What else does it do? The building of infrastructure, that's something else. Attract foreign investment, which is further contribution to the GDP. Of course, what else? Development of skills. Obviously, people, there's upskilling that is taking place. Okay, guys, you are cooking, guys. Improving transport link, obviously, yeah, it's also contribute. That's part of infrastructure. Okay, transport links. Okay, creates job opportunities, contributes to the GDP. Guys, this one you know. This one you know. Let's move on to the 2.5.5. I think you are fine with this one, guys. You are fine. Let's move on to 2.5.5. 2.5.4, give me a thumbs up if we are fine. Let's move on to 2.5.5. Suggest strategies with which national government can motivate potential investors to invest in the Kwega IDZ. What strategies with which national government can motivate potential investors to invest in the Kwega? What strategies can be put in place by the government to encourage or to motivate? What can the government do? What can the government do to motivate or encourage investors to invest in the Kwega IDZ? What can the government do? What can the government do? What can the government do to encourage or to motivate potential investors to invest in the Kwega IDZ? What can the government do? I'm seeing Miss Ellen Peng. How are you, ma'am? How are you, ma'am? Welcome, 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 ma'am. How are you, ma'am? How are you, ma'am? Thank you so much for joining. All right. So I'm suggest strategies with which national government can motivate potential investors to invest in the IDZ. Okay. Of course, something to do with the tariffs. Of course, they can revise them, decrease them. Of course, if you reduce the taxes, obviously, it encourages potential investors. Of course, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining. Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate. Okay, what else can the government do? What else can the government do? What else the government do? What else they can government must develop good infrastructure. That's good as well. That's good as well. Must develop good infrastructure. That's good as well. They should also, part of that, improve harbor to facilitate exports. That's good as well. That's good as well. What else can they do? What else can they do? We've talked about tax exemption. What else can they do? The government should improve national airports, of course, development of infrastructure. In general, it covers that development of infrastructure. Remember, we are saying these areas, there is global class infrastructure which attracts investments, promote industrial development, create employment, increase exports. Of course, everything that you are saying, guys, is correct. It's correct. It's correct. It's correct. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. What else? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Improve infrastructure. I think everything has been written there. So in general, in conclusion, guys, what can we give as a conclusion in as far as industrial development zone is concerned? Can I sum it up? Do you mind if I can sum up the IDZ? Do you mind if I can sum it up? Okay. The industrial development zone, I'm summing it up now. The industrial development zone, guys, We are saying now these are special zones for export-driven industries. These are special zones for export-driven industries. What are we trying to imply here? We are saying, number one, they attract investments. Number two, they promote industrial development. They create employment and increase exports. So they are more like export processing zones. They are more like export processing zones. That's what the IDZ are. So attract investments, promote industrial development. What else do they do? Create employment and increase exports. Okay. Someone is asking a good question. Okay. They promote industrial development, create employment and increase exports. Sweet Pie is asking, let's try to differentiate IDZ and SDIs. Let's try to differentiate IDZ and SDIs. Before we move on to the next paper, let's try to differentiate. What is an SDI, Spatial Development Initiative? What is a Spatial Development Initiative? Let's try to differentiate the two. What is an SDI, Spatial Development Initiative? Unfortunately, I don't have a question with a question paper with that question, but let's try to differentiate SDI. We have explained IDZ in detail. Let's try to do the same to SDI now. Spatial Development Initiative. What is it? Okay. It is local, of course. Transport communication links with major industrial areas, metropolitans, and harbors. Okay. But what is its main objective? Regional development and development of less developed areas. We are identifying areas with high potential for economic growth. But the idea behind that is, number one, to encourage regional development, and number two, to promote the development of less developed areas. That's what the Spatial Development Initiative seek to achieve. So there's more of what we call decentralization of industries, I would say. There's more like decentralization. We want to reduce the regional inequalities. That's part of your SDI. We want to reduce the what? Regional inequalities. That's basically what SDI is coming to do. If you look at it, it's more local, of course, but the idea is the identification of areas with potential for economic growth. For what? To encourage regional development and development of less or underdeveloped area, which is more of your rural area. That's basically what we are looking at. Corridor with which various economic activities that take place. But what is the main aim? To bring about regional development and development of those areas that are lagging behind, like your rural areas. That's what the SDI seek to promote. The development of infrastructure locally. Okay, that's correct. Okay, but seeking to bring about regional development and also what we call development of less developed areas, or like such as your rural areas. So that's basically what we are talking about. Okay, are you following? Are you following? Promote economic growth. That's fine. All right, sharp. We are finding. Let's do this one now. I think we have had enough of platinum, guys. Do you want us to do platinum? Okay, no problem. We can do it. Can we move on to the Eastern Cape one now? Eastern Cape paper. Eastern Cape, Eastern Cape, Eastern Cape. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Let's move on to the Eastern Cape. I think we have done a lot of questions on platinum. Let me see platinum. I want to see the paper. What we have here. All right, no problem. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's do it. I'm going to zoom it out. Okay. All right, all right, all right. It's moving on the other side. All right, sharp. Can you see, guys? Let's. I think we have done enough of platinum, guys. Do you want us to do this? All right. There's something that I have here. Where is that paper? Let me see. Let's do this one. All right, let's do this one. Okay. This is from, let's see. I think we have done a lot of platinum, guys. Let's try to balance. That is July test. Okay. Let's try to do this one. Small scale farming, refer to the sketch below on small scale farming and answer the questions that follow. Let's try to do this one. You want me to zoom, all right? Okay. Let's do this one, guys. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. Thank you. So let's analyze this sketch. Let's analyze the sketch. What can you see from the sketch? Or let's start by trying and take note of the characteristic of small scale farming. Let's take note. Let's talk about small scale farming. Small scale farming in general. Let's talk about the characteristic of small scale farming. Let's start with that. Small scale farming. Size of the land. Let's talk about small scale farming. Manual labor included. That's correct. You can see with these people, that's part of manual labor that is included. What else? Manual labor included. What else can you include here? In as far as small scale farming is concerned, small plots of land that is used. That's another thing. What else? Small scale. Small land cell. Mixed farming, of course. What else? Small traditional methods of farming. Remember, under small scale, we have got subsistence and commercial. Do you know that, guys? Under small scale, we have got subsistence where farmers are growing and rearing animals for themselves and their families. They don't have a profit motive. Then we also have small scale operating as commercial as well. Do you agree that also small scale can operate on a commercial basis? Small scale people who farm to feed themselves. So we assess small scale can be subsistence or commercial. Are we together? That's what we are saying. Small scale can be subsistence, which means farmers, they are doing it for themselves and their families. They don't have the intention to sell. It can be commercial as well. But this commercial is done on a small scale. How is it done on a small scale? Through intensive farming. Are you seeing now? I'm introducing intensive farming. You use more yields on a small piece of land to produce higher yields. So the commercial part of small scale farming is done intensively. That is part of your intensive farming. You apply more yields, okay, to maximize on the yields per hectare. That's how you do. That's the part of commercial now under small scale. So small scale can be subsistence and also commercial, using every piece of labor available for intent. Thank you so much, Bayan. That's correct. So small scale, don't only think about subsistence farming when it comes to small scale. It can be subsistence or commercial. Are you following, guys? Do we agree? I want us to agree. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Small scale, it can be subsistence or commercial. The commercial part is done intensively. That is, we are using higher inputs for higher yields per hectare. That is intensive farming. Okay. Okay. And someone is asking, what is the difference between the yield? The yield, basically, we are looking at the produce, what is being produced, what is coming out of the hectare, where farming is taking place. That's basically what we are talking about. Okay, that is something that you do with the yield. Obviously, these people are using a small plot of land. Their land is very small. So they are maximizing by using more inputs to increase the yields per hectare. That's basically what is happening. Okay, now that you understand what small scale farming is, can we go now to the questions? Okay, can we go to the question now? You understand? I think you all understand the idea why I posed this question. I wanted us to move at the same pace. Now I see that you understand what small scale farming is. So let's define it. We have defined it through our explanation. Let's do it now. Define, it's like saying what is small scale farming? Let's define it. Okay, farming in the smallest plots, economically viable piece of land, farming small plots of land, of course, that's correct. piece of land for consumption and selling purposes, obviously, you have to accommodate both the subsistence and the commercial part, but also acknowledging that it's done on a small piece of land. That's what you're supposed to do. So it means your definition is supposed to be comprehensive. It's supposed to accommodate all to show that, number one, in as much as it is done on a subsistence, it's also done on a commercial, but on a small piece of land. That's how you do it. I'm enjoying your answers, guys. This is very important. This is very important. This is encouraging, guys. This is very important. Done on a small piece of land for profit and also to sustain, because it is done commercially also for subsistence basis. Thank you. Don't forget the part which says small piece of land. That's what defines small-scale farming. The size of the land. That's what defines small-scale farming. It's done substantively and commercial. That's what defines it. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to, give me a thumbs up if you understand the definition. Thumbs up if you understand the definition. If you are fine with the definition, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So we are saying now 1.3.2, give evidence from the sketch. So guys, take note here. You are not writing what you know or what you think. You are taking this from the sketch. I have seen most learners, you just want to write what you know about small-scale farming. The question is saying give evidence from the sketch. What can you see from the sketch? That's small-scale farming. So what can you see from the sketch? Give evidence from the sketch. You are not writing what you think, guys. You are not writing what you think. Yams are monoculture with small scale. Do you know what monoculture is? The crop after year. Usually, monoculture we associate it with a large scale. Not this small scale. Monoculture, growing of one crop year after year. That is monoculture. I don't think it applies here. I don't think it applies here. So what evidence can we see from the sketch? We are doing 1.3.2. What evidence can you see? Few people are employed. You can see that few people are employed. We don't have a lot of people that are employed. Traditional method of farming, okay? They don't have heavy machinery. They use traditional methods, manual labor, traditional crop farming. Yeah. Okay, Yamza, what did you say? Make me understand. Make me understand. Because when you talk about monoculture, the growing of one crop year after year, that is mostly associated with the large scale monoculture. In most cases, they don't plant monoculture. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I get you now, Yamza. Thank you. Please forgive me for the misunderstanding. Thank you so much. I read it the other way. Thank you so much. I get you now. Okay, sharp. So are we fine with 1.3.2? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. So we have said few people are employed. The piece of land is small. They produce small quantity of food. Okay, that's all. Are we fine? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Let's move on now to 1.3.3. It reads, discuss two challenges that small-scale farmers face. Discuss two challenges. We want now to discuss the two challenges that these small-scale farmers face. The two challenges. What challenges do they face? Okay, what challenges do they face? Inadequate machinery, slow down production. They don't eat more profit, they can't trade, poor farming infrastructure, lack of enough land. Wow, guys, you are cooking. You are cooking, guys. You are cooking. You are cooking. You are cooking. You are cooking. Lack of funding. So these are some of the challenges. Yes, this is very easy. Then enough land to grow, lack of skills, small land, of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Unexpected weather conditions. Of course, what else? No financial assistance, lack of funding. No, guys, this is good. This is good. Okay, this one, I think we have exhausted it. Let's look at, if it's fine, guys, can we move on to 1.3.4? Can we move to 1.3.4? Can we move to 1.3.4? That one, you got it right, 1.3.4? Yes. Let's highlight now. Suggest a strategy on how the government can support small-scale farmers. Suggest strategy on how the government can support small-scale farmers. Suggest, okay, someone is saying, I struggle. Suggest strategies on how the government can support small-scale farmers. How can they support They can give them subsidies. Subsidies is support finance in terms of providing maybe training like that. That's how the government can do. It can subsidize. To subsidize is to support financially, or it can subsidize through training and things like that. Funding, can do that. Providing farming machinery, invest in correct, improve. Remember, we are more concerned with production. Support. Provide with machinery. Government should provide financial. Okay, of course, some of them do not have collateral security. Government can provide funds. Increase education and skills for farming. That's correct. Guys, can you see most of the answers that you are giving? Make sure they are linked to what the question requires to do. Because you're saying how the government can support small-scale farmers. Obviously, it has something to do with production. It has something to do with farming. How can they assist them to make sure that whatever they're doing in as far as farming is concerned is successful? That's basically what we are talking about. Okay. Am I wrong, sir? What did you say? Let me see. I missed your point. I think I missed your point, sir. I missed your point. Okay. How can we provide the machinery while they are not skilled, when they know how to upskill is coming into play? Remember, we are now, everything is now modernized. We are changing from the traditional to the modern. We are talking about the machinery such as your plows. Some of them, they've been tilling using hose. Now, if they start using plows, you understand, tractors to plow, some of these things, if they can afford, if they are provided with capital, which means they can be able to afford some of this machinery. That's basically what we're talking about. This has to do with support. They are used to operate on small plots of land. They are used to operate on low budget. But if the finances or subsidies are there, it can help them to expand. That's basically what we are talking about. They can also be given land redistribution. They can also be given access to land, which is also something that can be done by the government. They can also be given land as also. Okay. All right. I think we are fine with this one, guys. Let's move on to 1.3.5. 1.3.5. It reads thumbs up if you want us to move to 1.3.5. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Explain the social importance of small scale. Here, guys, social importance of small scale farming to the communities of Limpopo province. The social importance. Okay. What are we supporting here? And read while data and information about the informal sector is limited, okay, it is estimated that growing sector contributes approximately 6% to the GDP. Okay, then what else do we have? South Africa's informal economy is characterized by traders such as spaza shops. Spaza shops, of course. Let me highlight here. Spaza shops up until there. All right, chap. It is often referred to as the hidden economy. Hidden economy. Okay, sharp. However, despite the sector's size and significance in reducing poverty by providing people with access to food and jobs, the power of the informal sector remains largely underestimated. It is important to note the informal sector is not only used by desperate or as a temporary survival strategy until they can access the formal sector, but in fact, booming market that is rich in opportunities. Okay, booming sector that is rich in opportunities. It is for this reason that policymakers must acknowledge the role of informal activities in reducing poverty, providing employment, offering economic opportunity. Therefore, sustainable measures must be put in place to strengthen the underestimated sector. All right. From what I was reading, guys, let me highlight this. From what I was reading, guys, what I take note of is number one, the informal sector, even though they are not registered, even though they do not pay taxes, they have a positive contribution that they are doing to the South African economy. Where did I pick that? Say, check here. It comprises of 16.4% of South Africa's total employment, which means it's contributing. The people that it is employing, obviously, they are supporting business, they've got the buying power, they've got income. The business are thriving from the income that people that have. I mean, they are also supporting the growth of business. That's basically what we're talking about. They are very important to the economy. That's basically what I'm saying. What is their contribution to the GDP? You can see here, 6% of the GDP. That is the contribution that they are making. But however, they are not as unregistered. You understand? As illegal. Are you picking those things up? But they have a contribution that is positive that they are making to the South African economy. What else? Examples now has also been highlighted on our extract that spaza shops, the sidewalk workers, the vendors. So you've got examples now of business that you find within the informal sector. What else did I pick? It is also known as the hidden economy. In other terms, they regard them as the shadow economy. They regard them as the shadow economy. That's one thing that you are likely to be asked to comment on: hidden economy, the shadow economy, because they are overlooked. That's where the term is coming from. Hidden economy, shadow economy. They are overlooked. They are not seen as important, but they have a contribution that they are doing. That's basically what we are saying. Then what else do we have? Booming market rich in opportunities. Even though it is not registered, but it has got a lot of opportunities. Those people that are retrained, those people that are unemployed, is they are coming up with these survival strategies. What is happening? They are operating within what? The informal sector. They are creating employment. They are contributing to what? To the growth of the economy. That's what is happening. So you can see it's hidden, it's unregistered. It's written, it's unregistered, but it's contributing. It's contributing in a way. All right, what else do we have? It is the reason, okay, that policymakers Small plots of land. That's basically what we talked about, guys. You still remember? Okay. Then we also said we have got large scale, which is obviously on large piece of land. Okay, guys, I'm just doing a summary now. I'm just doing a summary. I'm just doing a summary, guys. I'm just doing a summary, then call it a night. That's what I'm doing now. I think we are done with the papers that we have been covering. I'm just doing a summary. I hope you don't mind. I'm just doing a summary. So agriculture, our main focus is maize production. So it means now you need to know the provinces where maize is grown, what is the contribution. So the same contribution of the factors that favors hinders and the contribution, it applies as well. So you have to make sure you understand that. You have to make sure that you understand that as well. Okay, then from the mining, we basically have two types of mining. We have got open cast, which means the minerals are close to the surface. Then we have got what? We have got deep level mining. So you have to know that these are the two types of mining that we have, which means if resources or minerals are close to the earth's surface, it means we are using it's cheaper because the minerals are close to the earth's surface. I'm not moving the document, guys, because now I'm just doing a summary. I'm doing a summary, guys. So that's what it means. If it's deep level, it means the minerals are deep underground. That is deep level mining. So those are the two types. You need to be aware of that. Then from there, contribution of mining, focusing on platinum mining. What are the provinces where, which are the provinces where mining of platinum is done? We need to know about that. We're talking about famous Northwest is known as the platinum province. Guys, you can't forget that. So these are some of the things that you have to know, guys. It's very important. The contribution as well. Then from there, you can move on now to the secondary sector, starting with the industries that you have, the light industries. You know, the light industry being in the transition zone, not producing much pollution. You understand? You need to know about that. Heavy industry, where do you find it? On the outskirts, it needs more space, flat land, where land is cheap. You talk about your footloose, they're located anywhere. Your ubiquitous, they are everywhere. You understand? I'm just trying to sum it up, guys. I'm just summing up before we call it a night. Then you talk about your raw material based, they are close to the raw materials. Your market, close to the market. You in because of the raw material. So that's industrial regions. This year, guys, we are focusing on PWV, which is Pretoria Witwatersrandvernaken. That is your what? Your PWV. These we are more developed. Okay, have been identified because of their potential. They are core in terms of manufacturing, processing, and heavy industry are concentrated in these regions. They are This advanced industrial group, talking about excess labor force. We are talking about domestic and the international market. We are talking about the access to the market. We are talking about availability of resources. Those are the things that we are talking about as far as the industrial region of Pretoria, which what I said, Fernaken is concerned. That is your Gauteng. You understand? What is its contribution to the economy? So you are going to get the graphs, you're going to get information, the extract where you can analyze that. Then your PE Utenhag in Eastern Cape, what does it have in terms of the industries, the deep sea, where the ship can dock there? Okay, you look at all those things, guys. It's very important. That is your industrial core region. So we are saying, in as far as industrial core region is, there is centralization of industries where you are finding most of these industries in the core regions, which means already there's a problem of inequality, which is what is trying to be solved by the SDIs, where areas are identified for their potential growth. This SDI is coming more with decentralization, where now we are here looking at industrial development. We are looking at what development of those areas that are lagging behind. So we are encouraging investors in those localities to encourage development. So we are bringing about, we are reducing regional inequalities that has been created by the industrial core regions. That's basically what you're talking about. Are you following, guys? Are you following, guys? That is your industrial core region. Then when it comes to your IDZ now, they are export oriented. This is an export processing zones. They are there to attract investments, to promote industrial development, to create employment, and increase exports. That's basically what we are talking about. So these zones now, they are export driven. There is beneficiation, there is value addition, which means if South Africa is going to have more of this IDZ, it's going to help to boost the performance of its economy because it's going to export value added products. You understand? That's why countries like United Kingdom, like United States of America, they are exporting more of value-added products and services. That's what they are doing. That's why they are able to gain more from the global market. Why? Because of the type of products that they are offering in the global market. They fetch higher price. That's how their economy is doing well. So we are saying now, if we have got more of this IDZ, which is oriented towards exports, it means the balance of trade is going to be favorable. The balance of trade is going to be positive. Our export is going to be greater than the import in terms of value. That's what we are saying, boys and girls. Our export is going to be greater in terms of value. In terms of what? Of value. That is a favorable balance of trade. That's what we are talking about. That's what builds the economy. We are exporting. When we are exporting, we are generating revenue. When we are importing, we are spending. Exporting, selling to, you get money. Importing, you are buying from, which means you are spending. So what is needed is for us to export more than we are importing. Because when we are exporting, we are generating revenue. That's what is happening. So what are we exporting? We cannot encourage exportation of raw materials from the primary industry. We want beneficiation. We want to make sure that we export value-added products. That is what we're talking about now. Okay, you understand? Then from there, okay, I know there are strategies that has been implemented, the Good Hope Plan, the Reconstruction and Development Program, RDP, the GEAR Plan, Growth, Employment, and Redistribution. Those are some of the things that you're supposed to know. The one implemented during apartheid and the post-apartheid. Just know in general the goodwill, what was it all about? Did it bring about development that brings about equality or equitable in terms of development? It did not achieve that. Why? Because they were trying to find centers on the edges of homelands where they could actually encourage people to invest in those areas. But however, did it bring about development? It did not bring about development because it did not take a basic needs approach, which was taken by the RDP because it focused on providing service, help. Remember, I think I've said enough there. Then informal sector, I think we have said enough. Thank you, guys. I think I've said enough, guys. I think I said enough. I just want to. Okay. I think I've said enough, guys. I don't know if there's any questions before we call it a night. I don't know if there's any question before we call it a night. Just trying to capture something here. I don't know if there are any questions before we call it a night. Just waiting to hear from you. Any questions before we call it a night? Thank you so much, guys. I want to ask you guys, please, if you can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. If you can go, please, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, guys. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Please, link. I appreciate. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Have a blessed evening. Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I want to say network. Oh, all right. Thank you, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. The network. Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. Network. All right. What else do you need? Ended it. What happens with light? What is happening with the sound? What's happening with the sound? I think we